What's up, my fellow brother bears? I'm your host, Buddha Bear.
And I'm your co-host, BlackBear.
And welcome to
The Anime Den. And in today's video, we're going to be reviewing episode 8 of ReZero Season 2.
So without further ado, let's get right into the review. Alright, so this episode was a rather big episode. Like, not only in just feelings, but in what has happened. You want me to go off?
Obviously.
Yeah, because BlackBear will never be able to tell the stories. So, we come back to Subaru, Ram, and what was the Otto having escaped from the clutches of Garfield. And right now they go to Roswell to ask a couple questions. Roswell confirms that Beatrice is not a part of the witches cult, and he also tells Subaru on how to answer.
You completely. That wasn't how it happened.
Well, that's the important parts.
Okay.
So, he also tells Subaru on how to answer a certain question in order to gain Beatrice as an ally. Should she like start asking like questions and like freaking out like how she did on the last episode. He goes off to also ask Subaru goes off to also ask if he himself is an enemy, and while Roswell answers while smiling, "No, I am your ally," which, I'm not gonna lie, it seems a little sketchy. We still don't trust him even now. From then on, we go to having Garfield now. Them talking about what they're gonna Subaru, Otto, and Ram now talking about what they're gonna do. Subaru saying that he's gonna finish the trial, and then those two, and then Otto and Ram saying that they're gonna have him escape, get past the field, the force field, and then get him to escape. Before they get to finish that, Garfield arrives, and Garfield is obviously upset. Tells them you have two choices. You either surrender yourself or you fight.
Yeah, he said some. I don't know what it was, but he said something.
He said a quote.
He said a quote that basically
them,
translates to that. Subaru didn't get it because he
doesn't know the history.
He's uneducated.
Yeah, and so Otto grabs Subaru and then jumps on Partridge, aka the dragon, and
that's what his name.
It starts with a P.
It's like,
I call him the Black Dragon of Awesomeness, because he's awesome, and it's actually a she.
Yeah,
she's awesome. So they Otto grabs Subaru and hops on Partridge. I'm just gonna call it the Amazing Black Dragon. The Amazing Black Dragon and escape while Ram stays to fight Garfield. Otto then whistles, and we see all the villagers come out to help them in their voyage to escape. Like, kind of shows them a path while lighting lanterns. As they're escaping, all of a sudden a giant like shockwave comes in and hits Subaru and Otto off the awesome Black Dragon, and they kind of land. Everyone's hurt, all the villagers, and then we see Garfield appear in his true form, which is a giant tiger. Yeah. Like it is. And we have to understand that this is the first time we're seeing a full-blood transformation.
Half-blood.
Well, half-blood, full transformation.
Because Frederica
is a quarter.
Yeah.
She was rather small.
Yeah, but she was still, like, massive.
She was still massive to them, but compared to Garfield, now she's small.
Yeah.
And, like, Garfield's just monstrous. So then Subaru tells Garfield, "I surrender, I will do what you say, just don't hurt anyone." And then it happens. BlackBear's theory was right. Otto comes in, pushes Garfield, and then gets cut in half.
He pushes Subaru.
Subaru and then gets cut in half.
Yeah, and then he dies.
So, and then from that point on, at that moment, Subaru was already struck in fear of what was happening. At that point, he just lost a really close friend, and he breaks down. Then, at that point, he gets smacked away from Garfield, and he's smacked next to Partridge, the awesome Black Dragon, and all the villagers are trying to hold back Garfield while getting stomped, and we can obviously see Subaru breaking down once again. just like how he broke down with Rom, and then with Rem, and how Rem killed him, and it's one of those breakdowns.
Yeah.
He's starting to break. He's starting to lose himself, and the last straw was probably when the Awesome Black Dragon grabs him and then tosses him, and we see fucking Garfield squish.
Yeah,
poor,
that was sad.
Beautiful dragon. Kind of made me cry a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I was really upset. And then Subaru's blue necklace glows, and then bam, he's in this ice world.
He's back in the sanctuary, back in the chamber.
He's back in the chamber first, and then now he comes out, and it looks like, if you guys ever seen the ReZero movie, it looks like that when how Puck turned the entire world to ice. Like, it's frozen. It's winter, basically.
That was the movie?
There was a movie. There was part of that in the movie, but also in the anime.
Oh, yeah.
But
because it was first season.
Basically, it's winter, and he has no idea what's happening. He's shocked. He's walking around. Everyone's gone. He has no idea what's happening. Goes on further. A little white rabbit pops in. He goes to touch the little white rabbit. Little white rabbit rips off his arm. Automatically, we understand that rabbit is a mana beast, and all of a sudden, more of them pop out. I already knew what was happening.
Dude.
What was going to happen. I don't know if BlackBear caught
Dude,
up to it.
I watched enough Walking Dead to already know what was going on.
Well, I don't watch Walking Dead, but I know my torture devices. So, all of the rabbits, there's about hundreds of these guys, run to Subaru and just start eating him. And by far, one of the most gruesome deaths in ReZero.
In like the
entire series.
Season 1 and Season 2.
Jesus. Like, we know there's been some bad deaths, but there's nothing compared to being eaten alive. That kind of a death is by far so gruesome, because not only are you still alive, you're feeling it the entire time, getting chewed on. So he gets eaten, and he obviously dies.
Well, you were also right. You said if Otto does die, then he will die in the same episode.
Yeah,
and you were right.
Yeah, I was. So we were both kind of right. If we combined both of our things, we would have been actually 100%. But we can kind of 50-50. It counts as 100. So we technically were right. So he ends up dying. Resets. He is back at the sanctuary, at the trial.
Yeah, he's back doing the trial next to Amelia again.
And he loses it. Starts bashing his head into the ground, saying, why? Next thing you know, Echidna calls him. I'm still going to say Ekidana, because that's how they say it in Japanese. Ekidana says, once again, you have the right to come.
You have reached the qualifications
to participate in the witches' tea party, and Ekidana pulls him into the tea party. Now, I was expecting him to be panicking. Surprisingly, Subaru comes in extremely calm because of the tea he drank, which is helping his sloth factor, keeping him stable.
It was so weird, though.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah,
how
it seemed like so calm.
And Ekidana goes to explain that as long as he remembers everything on what happens, his soul will not break. His soul will not shatter, and his mind will not corrode. And, Subaru then goes to say, well, if there's a way for me to remember this and remember you, then I want you to do that, which embarrasses Ekidana a little bit. Which, by the way, I ship him. Yo, screw Rem, screw Rom, screw Amelia. This is it right here. Subaru Ekidana. Best. So, as I was saying, he goes and tells her that, and this is the part where he kind of shatters once more, because he starts to understand that Ekidana knows what has happened before.
Yeah.
So
she tells him to tell her, like, what's going on, and then he tells, like, he tells her, like, for the first time, he tells someone else that
before he obviously does that, he starts to question Ekidana, like he still doesn't believe it, and then he goes and
then he goes and tells her that he can use the power returned by death, and he's dumbfounded by, because he's able to actually tell someone that he could use that power, and he's just continuously saying he has the power to return by death, and he's just breaking down because it's his first time saying it to someone else.
Yeah. So we
With
obviously,
yeah,
with how we've all watched the series and not being able to tell him, he goes on to say, "I've returned by death. I've returned many times, over and over again, all alone." Keyword: all alone, being unable to tell anyone. And that's when Ekidana embraces him and tells him, it's okay. I understand. I've been watching the entire time. And then she goes on to say, tell me everything, basically. She goes on, tell me your experiences, tell me what you were feeling, tell me your choices and why, because I am the Witch of Greed and I want to know. And then the episode ends. But it was the way it ended on how Subaru has now not during this entire season 2, Subaru has been able to not only been able to once again find himself by talking to his parents and apologizing. He's also been introduced to a friend that he's not had the entire series. Like, he's never had a true friend until Otto, and now he also has someone he can talk about his true secret, his ultimate secret through this entire series. He now has someone to talk to, and it ends there. So, we can go up with theories on what was gonna happen. You want to go theory first? You want me to?
You can go. You can
okay, so obviously, next episode he's gonna tell it's gonna be Subaru. It's probably gonna be an episode just about Subaru and Ekidana, and he's gonna tell Subaru's gonna tell Ekidana everything, on how he was feeling, because remember, Ekidana has been watching, but she doesn't understand why. So he's gonna tell her everything, and then I expect Ekidana to also tell him about herself, and then through her words and her story, Subaru will not only find the strength but the courage and the mental fortitude to go back into the world with a plan to go not only to save Federica and the little girl at the Petra at the mansion, but also to go through this stage and to deal with Garfield and everyone. He's gonna have a plan for all of it. Like, he's gonna be able to do it. Now, do I expect another breakdown? Yes. Why? The Archbishops. He will have one more breakdown, I presume, to have one more breakdown in the ultimate battle where he is completely taken. Like, where he falls into despair, where nothing he does work. No matter how many times he dies, he continuously loses. That's one more breakdown that I believe he's gonna have. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Your turn.
And I feel like that like the same, that there's gonna be like another breakdown, like his last breakdown with the battle of with the Archbishops, and I feel like someone's gonna die, and it's gonna be permanent.
Oh,
I feel like someone's gonna die, and it's gonna be permanent. Like, he'll die, but then it'll be a further checkpoint, like, after they die, and he's gonna be completely, like, just broken because he can't even kill himself to go back and save them. It's just gonna be it. They're just gone.
Yeah, and I feel like at that point, he's gonna talk to himself, like, even with this power, even with all the trials I've gone through, I still can't save, like, this one person. And you kind of really have to think on who is gonna die. Like, who would die to break this man to the furthest point. And hear me out, it'd be wild. It'd be so wild if he saves Rom just for her to die again. Or Rem. He saves Rem just for her to die again, and this time permanently. Like, that's it. You did this entire season 2. Gone. Waste. Poof.
But I don't feel like it's...
But I'm not saying it's Rem. I'm saying if it was like a scenario like that, it'd break him. But then you have to think, who would be so important? Rem, one Ekidana, Emilia, Otto, for sure.
Puck's gonna die.
Nah, I don't give a shit about Puck.
Puck's gonna die, then Emilia's gonna be big sad, and then...
we never even talked about the men, like, Emilia's mind.
Where has he been? Like, where did he go?
I think he's unable to get inside the fortress. But then again, it doesn't explain why he wasn't able to help Subaru when he was
when he was over there. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
Actually, for these like episodes, Amelia has been in the sanctuary, so I mean maybe Puck can't go into the actual sanctuary because he's a spirit.
Well, I think it's more of like the force field covering the area. He can't penetrate that unless he's a half blood. You know how they say?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like he can't go into it. Like he was able to go into it because he was in the amulet, but he can't like come out of the amulet.
Probably. So he just can't. He's just trapped.
Yeah.
That man trapped. He gone. So I think that's all of our theories on what's
like.
Gonna
I don't think he's gonna like die. Like, cause
who
Puck, cause like he still has
he's
his
still
final.
Man, I really don't care about Puck.
I know. He just has his final transformation, but I feel like
I ain't gonna lie, though.
the amulet's gonna like break or some shit.
I don't know about that. Puck, once again, you gotta remember Puck is like an omnipotent being.
I know. That's why I said he's not gonna die. The amulet's gonna break, and she's not gonna be able to summon him. Like it's gonna break, and then the contract is gonna disappear.
True, but you gotta remember he's still like a high being. If he chose to, he could still appear.
Yeah.
You know. So I would be lit. I'm not gonna lie. It would be super awesome if when Subaru and his allies go to fight the Archbishops, you know, Puck is there in his true form helping Subaru. Ekidana is there.
Puck's true form is so cool.
Yeah, he looks like a behemoth. So you know, we're just gonna have to wait further. Now since we understand that, you know, Subaru's breaking down. Everyone is dying. It's another breakdown episode, and they did a really good job at it.
Yeah.
Very good job. So now we're just gonna have to wait until the next episode to see on how he regains himself. So I guess we'll end it here.
Yeah.
Alrighty, my fellow brother bears. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you drop a comment on your theory. And what do you think of our theories? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? What is your theory? What do you think is going to happen next episode? You know, make sure you comment down. And then, actually, hold up. I almost messed that up. No, I didn't mess it up. And I am your host, the one and only Buddha Bear.
And I'm your co-host, BlackBear.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in with us here
in the Anime Den.